Hello viewers and welcome to our show. Today we are about to discuss a very vital issue concerning consumer awareness. Consumer awareness helps a buyer to make the right choice and to choose the right. And in between comes consumer rights, which assures and gives an insight to the buyer about the rights that he holds in while buying a product. Now, suppose you buy a product and you realize at the end that it is not up to your expectations. How do you go about it? Or how do you judge it? Here, Bureau of Indian Standards, a Government of India organization, comes into the picture. It is a national standardization body, and today we are about to talk about various issues relating to standardization, reliability, and minimizing health hazards. And in the studio today, we have with us, we are very fortunate, in fact, to have with us today the scientist F and director of BIS Guwahati, Mr. Pawan Kumar Kanoi. Welcome to our studio, sir.
Thank you.
We are also joined by Mr. Chanu Ovang, scientist C and deputy director of BIS Guwahati. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
So I begin with you, sir. I would like to know from you, as a consumer, how do I judge or identify the quality of a product? How does BIS help us in that?
Thank you, ma'am. It's good to be here in Doordarshan studio, and we are talking about BIS, which is a national standard body functioning under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Government of India. Now, BIS being a national standard body, it involves a lot of gamut of activities like formulation of the standards, then implementation of standards by certification activities, then the testing of the product. So all this helps when a consumer buys a ISI marked product good. So in that ISI marked product, you can see the efforts of the standards and certification and that proper testing of the product. So consumer can be rest assured that the product will be of optimum quality. Now, for example, I just give you a simple example that will be, your understanding will be much better. Suppose we are using LPG cylinder in our day-to-day use. Every housewife uses LPG cylinder in day-to-day activities. Now, how do you go about the quality of LPG cylinder?
Correct.
See, there are a lot of parameters when formulating the standard. First, we should formulate a proper standards. Then only we can implement, and then we can devise the how to go about the testing methods. So, just simply I tell you that the LPG cylinders, first and it is manufactured from a steel, MS, that is mild steel, technically called mild steel. That should be very robust because it will have LPG inside the cylinder, so that there should not be any health hazard. So BIS, while formulating the standards, they go through they formulate the what kind of strength of the steel will be, what will be its tensile strength, what will be the yield strength. Then comes to the LPG cylinder manufacturing process. We have the very detailed manufacturing process. Our officer visiting the factory, they see right from the seat, LPG seat that manufacturer buys in the factory and the cylinder manufactured. There are a lot of processes like cutting of the seats in a circular shape, then that pressing the seat in a hub shape, that is called one hub. That LPG cylinder, you have seen that in between there is a welding. So there's two pieces and combined with one pieces. Okay. So there are a lot of testing goes before this comes to the consumer. Like we verify that there is a leakage test that is done by the filling the water in the cylinder at certain pressure and keep it there for optimum time. We see there is no leakage. Then again after that we go to the pneumatic test, that is called air pressure test. Again the cylinder is subjected to certain air pressure test. So you can see that the amount of the vigilance when you buy a product when you buy a ISI mark product, so it will definitely ensure the quality product to the consumer.
Okay, again I would like to know that what are the products for which BIS gives the license? Which are the products basically?
Yeah, you can name it, you can see in the market and you can name it product, and ISI mark is, as you see, is quite visible. When you go to the market, if you buy a pressure cooker, you will see the ISI mark. If you buy a cement bag, say for you're constructing your house, that is a ISI mark. If you construct a house, you need a HSD bar, that is rod. In popularly they are telling a TMT bar. So that is also ISI mark. Then if you go lot of medical devices, you may not be knowing, like X-ray machine, that is also ISI mark. Then lot of other blood pressure equipment, that is also ISI mark. You name it. And now Government of India has got a policy. Every ministry, like Ministry of Steel is there. Then a lot of chemicals that poses the health hazard. So government is making them and bringing them under compulsory certification. That if a manufacturer that wants to manufacture that product, that they have to take BIS certification license.
Okay, ma'am, I would like to know from you that is it mandatory for all manufacturers to have the license or standardization from BIS?
Okay, ma'am, it's like that. As on date, there are 297 products which has been identified for compulsory certification, and as such, if a manufacturer intends to manufacture any of those products, as I've already mentioned, 297 products, if he intends to manufacture any of those products, then he would inevitably have to obtain BIS license from us, and in case he still wants to obtain a license which is not under the purview of those products under compulsory certification, then he definitely can still apply, which we call it as the voluntary certification.
Okay. Now I want to know from you again, how does BIS operate nationwide?
All right. In BIS we have specific departments which all together work in close association. To begin with, we have our headquarters at Delhi, and as Director Kanoiser already mentioned, that is where the standards are formulated. We have a dedicated department who formulates the standards, and on today's date we have around 20,700 standards which has been formulated. And then comes the regional offices. We have 5 regional offices. The Central Regional Office, which is located at Delhi, then the North Regional Office at Chandigarh, the Southern Regional Office at Chennai, the Eastern Regional Office at Kolkata, and the Western Regional Office at Mumbai. Now, under these regional offices, we have 33 branch offices scattered all around these regional offices, and these branch offices, they cater to the need of all the certification activities. Like I mentioned, mandatory certification and voluntary certification activities. And to help expedite the work of branch offices, to facilitate the work, then comes the role of laboratories. So we have laboratories in all of those 5 regions, and provided 3 more which are located, one at Bangalore, another at Patna, and we also have a lab here which is functioning at Guwahati.
Yeah, as you've just mentioned, there's a lab in the lower floor of your office in the Guwahati building.
Right.
We have noticed that. And do you have any plans of expansion to other parts of Northeast?
Yes. Other part of Northeast will be depends on the expansion of BIS, depends on the industrial activities, right? Right now we are catering all the 7 states of Northeastern through BIS Guwahati office. As you talked about the laboratory, I would like to specifically mention here, at present in Guwahati laboratory, we have created a test facility for the plywood, because Northeast known for the timber.
Right.
So a lot of plywood industries in Upper Assam area, then Arunachal Pradesh. There's a lot of even in near Guwahati, if you see the Palasbari area, there are a lot of plywood industries are coming up, and they are manufacturing, and their brand name is so popular all over India. Like tea, Assam tea is very famous in the world. Like similar way, the Assam plywood manufactured out of northeast region has got a very good acceptance in all over the India. So one is this plywood you have created here, test facility here. Then we have created test facility for steel bar. That is one of the vital I'll say input raw material for constructing the buildings. So construction, you see northeast is very earthquake zone 5. So we should have proper way. So this steel HSD bar is being tested in our laboratory. Then we have partially tested cement facilities. Then we are testing the container. Or PDW, that is packaged natural water. But of late, I mean, the top management is considering the expanding the activities of lab. As you know, as we'll talk later on, that hallmarking activities, where this gold and silver has been certified as a hallmark. So our top management of thinking of starting a gold and silver testing assaying center. We call it, instead of laboratory, it is called as assaying center.
Okay.
That means to assess the purity of the gold.
Okay.
Whenever suppose you buy a 22 carats of gold, that means 91.6% gold should be there.
Right.
So that testing lab we are planning to set up in times to come. And then we have proposal for complete testing of this packaged drinking water lab. So these are the proposal at present, and hopefully it will be materialized very soon. And this will bring a all round development. I mean through industrialization of the whole northeastern region, and economic activity will get a further boost in this region.
Right. So there are occasions when we come across products which have ISI marks, yet they don't look authentic. So how do we really decide the genuinity of such products?
It so happens that when a license is given to a manufacturer, he then starts using the ISI mark on his product. Sometimes be it through labels, sometimes it is embossed, sometimes it is through stenciling. So now you have to look for, sometimes at any point of time as a customer, if you feel that the product is not genuine or it looks fake, or then what you can do is, there are two things that you need to look out on the ISI mark. Firstly, on just above the logo, you will find the IS number, meaning the Indian standard number. So the IS number is the standard is given for a specific product which corresponds to that standard number. For example, if it is packaged drinking water, it would have something written like IS 14543, and like for cylinder, it would have IS 3196, and for HSDS bar, IS 1786, etc. So that is one thing that you need to look for. And the second thing will be, just below the logo, you will find the CML number, which is nothing but the certification marks license number. So this license number may be a 7-digit number or a 10-digit number. So in order to find the authenticity of whether this license is a genuine BIS license holder or not, that you can look up to our website www.bis.gov.in, wherein you can get the online detail of, so as to whether this manufacturer is a genuine license holder or a fake license holder. And if in any way it is established that this is a fake BIS holder, then we will be verifying once the complaint is registered with us, we will be verifying the misuse of ISI mark, and in such cases, as per directed to us by the BIS Act 2016 and the Conformity Assessment Regulations 2018, what we do is, once a complaint is established, we conduct raids with the help of the local police, and then once we go to the raid, if any items are found, we seize them, and sample is also collected for testing purpose. Now, once that is done, a case is filed in the court against that fake manufacturer or the fake license holder. And once it is done, depending on the degree of his offense, penalty is imposed on him, which can be fine and imprisonment or both, and including he will need to replace and pay compensation to the customer for the fake goods that he has sold so far.
Right. So coming to hallmarking. Now, Ms. Ovang, as we say that women are synonymous with gold jewelry, so
Right.
this is one topic that all of us are very keen on knowing about. So, when we go to buy gold jewelry, what are the things that we need to look for?
Right, ma'am. So, as already mentioned, this hallmarking, the gold and the silver articles, these are hallmarked in a laboratory, which is known as the assaying center. So, hallmarking, it means the item, the particular gold item or the jewelry, whichever artifact, it has been tested for its purity. And under hallmarking scheme, it is to be hallmarked on 3 carats, which includes 22 carat, your 18 carat, and then the 14 carat.
Right.
22 carat corresponds to a purity of 916 and your 18 carat of a purity of 750 and your 14 carat purity of 585. Okay.
Alright.
So now what happens is there are 4 things that you need to look at when you go to buy gold. And you should always ask for a hallmark jewelry whatsoever.
Yes.
So the 4 simples that you need to look for and then hallmark jewelry or an article is, firstly you need to look for the BIS logo, which is right there at the background, and then second of all you need to look for the purity and the carat that I just mentioned, the 22 carat corresponding to 916, 18 carat to 750, your 14 carat to 585 fineness. And then the third point will be a unique logo for the assaying center. We have each assaying center has a unique logo that needs to be there, and then the 4th symbol should be that of the jewelers. The jeweler also has a unique logo which needs to be included in the in the hallmark jewelry. So those 4 things are the points you should be looking for when you make a purchase of any hallmark gold article. And just another point, that the cost of each hallmark article is rupees 35. So whenever you go to make a purchase, you can always ask for the bill so that the jeweler does not fool you just in the sake of hallmarking charges.
Right.
And I also make to inform that the hallmarking will be made mandatory by next year, that is 2021.
Okay.
And another thing, the process of obtaining hallmarking registration has been made very simple. Back then it was a lot of paperwork were involved, but right now a jeweler sitting at home can just upload some 3 documents, as in like the jeweler's IT proof, secondly the address proof, thirdly trade license, GST, return, and those 3 documents. With that you upload it online on the portal, which is Manak Online, and you will be directed to pay the registration fees, which is very nominal amount.
Okay.
And once you make the payment, then and there your license number will be generated and your license will be granted for 5 years.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, Mr. Kanoy, I would like to know, here's a very interesting thing that I came across, the punchline, Jago Grahak Jago. Now, here's this customer or a consumer who says, जाग कर जाएंगे कहाँ? So, you tell us, where does a consumer go when he looks for a complaint redressal?
If he purchase BIS certified product, तो फिर तो उनको BIS के पास ही आना है. As you told, जाग के कहाँ जाना है? तो आपको BIS के पास ही आना है.
Suppose he has a complaint and he wants a redressal
Yes,
for that. The
I am
entire
coming to
process
that. I am
is what
coming
we
to
want
that.
to know.
I am coming to that. Once consumer purchase BIS certified product and he is not satisfied with the product quality, he is most welcome to lodge a complaint to BIS in any manner. We can online, there is an email, you can visit our website as ma'am told you, www.bis.gov.in. Now there is a popular central government initiative by this government, CP Gram, that is also there, you can lodge the complaint. Once complaint is lodged, BIS starts his own procedure for investigation. Our headquarter has got a department for handling. They assign a unique number to that complaint and they keep monitoring centrally.
Correct.
So that every branch works in perfectly within the time limit. So what happens when a complaint comes to us in any branch, I mean in any branch in all over India, our officers will examine the complaint and he will contact the complainant and try to understand his concern. Further, he will, if required, he will visit the complainant. Then if he has got the substandard product with him, he may take a sample of that product and we will get it tested in our laboratories to assess the whether the product is authentic or not. Also, he will collect some document like cash memo, etc. To suppose the complaint found genuine, so he will get the free replacement. Again, we will seek that, because whenever there will be, as you madam told, that ISI mark has got a number of the logo and behind that there will be CML number, so we can track the manufacturer. Suppose any consumer has purchased a product manufactured in northeastern region itself, so we can contact the manufacturers. Our officer will visit how this has happened, because you are holding a BIS certified license and you are selling this, how it has happened. He will go to the factory of that manufacturers and he will try to investigate all the things. If he found its really complaint is genuine, and there is some deficiency in the manufacturing process or something like that, we have provision in our BIS Act. BIS Act empowers us to take action against the manufacturer also, apart from giving full replacement to the consumer. This is the way we are handling our complaint redressal scheme.
That's a very helpful information. And now, in the wake of spurious activities going on across the world, in fact we can say, ma'am, I would like to know from you, what kind of awareness drives have you been taking up?
BIS is really focused on consumer awareness outreach, and these outreach activities are carried out in many several ways, which I would like to mention some. We conduct a lot of consumer awareness programs in urban, semi-urban, and especially the rural areas, and also in schools and colleges. Then we conduct state level committee meetings, and not just restricted to the state of Assam, but all across the 7 northeastern states, which is under the purview of BIS Guwahati. So we in those state level committee meetings, we involve the major state departments and the stakeholders as well. Then we participate in trade fairs and exhibitions and festivals, just like we have participated in festivals such as the Shanghai Festival in Manipur, the Anthurium Festival in Mizoram, also the Hornbill Festival in Nagaland. So that way, to garner the larger mass at one time. So that we do, and also to enhance our publicity activities. It is done through print media and electronic media. You can also follow us, or you can also reach out to us through the social platforms. We are on Instagram, Twitter, as well as Facebook, to keep you up to date and informed about the latest developments which might have come along. And then we are also we also conduct jeweler awareness programs, hallmarking and jewelers awareness programs. And in most of the programs and the awareness drives that we conduct, we make it a point to involve other bodies such as NGOs, self-help groups, and consumer-related organizations. And so that's how we go about reaching out.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. And it was wonderful talking to you both. We are almost at the end of this discussion, and it was very informative. And in short, we can say that BIS is a hallmark of trust. It's a huge topic. It's a very broad topic. The other aspects of this topic can be discussed in detail as we meet again, maybe in the later shows. So thank you for joining us today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.